Good evening, I'm James Haywood. I sing bass in the Queensland Choir, and in the lead up to our concert this Saturday evening at the Old Museum, our concert of Will Todd's Mass in Blue, I thought I'd chat to our musical director, Kevin Power. Thank you for joining me, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Now, over the years, this choir has sung many masses, but this would be the first time that we've sung a jazz mass. Tell me, what sort of inspired you to choose this piece for our 2024 concert season?
Well, I'm not sure inspired would be the word I'd use, but look, the Queensland Choir has always sung a wide repertoire. The majority of our repertoire is the standard classical choral repertoire of the 18th to 20th centuries, but we've always done some lighter music, some more popular stuff, things that people can enjoy, and that's fun for us to do as well. So that didn't write this piece out. It was something, I also feel it's important when you're a musician that you keep note of what's happening in music and what music that's being written in our time, not just perform sort of museum music, that the great pieces of the past. But to be aware of what's going on. I don't mean that we need to perform every new piece that's written as a matter of course, but this was one that when I heard it, it appealed to me, it grew on me very quickly. It's got enough of a challenge in it for me and the choir, and I think it's rewarding as well to work on, and I think our audience will find it so as well.
And you mentioned challenging. I guess one of the challenging things is that this piece does sort of mix jazz and classical music. And there are varying degrees of separations between a Latin Mass and the world of jazz. How does Will Todd combine these two seemingly disparate styles in his work?
Well, the thing in common with all Latin Masses is the Latin text of the Mass. He sets the same movements as all the other composers. And like any composer, he reacts to different words differently at times. So some of the things that he sets, the crucifixion section of the Credo, for instance, is like just about every Mass. It's a very hushed, deeply expressive moment in the piece. But when we come to the Sanctus, which in a normal classical Mass would be all trumpets and drums to convey the splendour that's supposed to fill the heavens and the earth, his is a very quiet, melodic movement. Similarly, the Benedictus, which in most classical Masses, that's the most boring movement of the whole lot, usually. And in this one, it's a real jam session. Everybody's having a good time. It's a very lively movement. So there are differences. The language, of course, that he uses is the language of late 20th century jazz, harmonically and rhythmically. But apart from that, there's a lot of traditional sort of choral techniques in it because Todd himself was a chorister, a cathedral chorister in the UK when he was younger. When
I'm singing some of the movements, I feel like there's an element of gospel singing in there. Would you say that?
Oh, yeah. Because gospel's got a lot of jazz, styles and techniques and rhythms and things in it. The harmonies are there. And that's very successful jazz, sacred music. One of the criticisms of this piece when it was written is that you shouldn't be singing to God in jazz. It was too worldly. But, in Southern Baptists in America have been doing it for decades. So, yeah.
And our audience that is used to us singing Beethoven, Mozart, and might feel a little bit of trepidation coming to hear us sing jazz, what would you say to those people? How would you encourage them to come to this concert?
Well, I think it'll be like any concert. You'll get some people in the audience that'll absolutely love it, and some people that won't love it so much. But that happens at every concert. Our first concert this year, we did Bach and Beethoven. Some people loved the Beethoven and found the Bach too tough. Others loved the Bach and found the Beethoven too common. That always happens, and this will be the same. I mean, I think if people are familiar basically with the sound world of jazz, it won't be a shock to them. I don't think they should be able to comprehend it. It's something which certainly grows on you. I think everybody in the choir, when they're walking down the street, has got a phrase or two or a rhythm or something out of the Mass in Blue ringing in their ear because it gets in there and won't get out.
I can attest to that.
Yes. And it's look, I found it a very genuine attempt to do something new. There's a lot of jazz masses being written at the moment, and they're very often by classical composers who take a few gimmicky aspects of jazz and sugarcoat it and try and wow the audience with it. But this seems to me to be genuine jazz. He's not trying to create a huge success, a standing ovation at the end or anything. But it's a genuine attempt to write decent music, and I think he succeeds pretty well.
Well, if we've piqued your interest, simply follow the link in our bio to purchase tickets to this concert, or head to our website, queenslandchoir.com. The concert itself will take place at 7:30 p.m. at the Old Museum this Saturday evening.